Making it big on YouTube requires talent, timing, and a massive amount of luck. But what happens if you become one of the lucky few? Well, after success finally arrives, like any smart celebrity of sorts, you strike when the iron is hot, launch a course, start an OnlyFans, and in the case of this video, begin a business. Here are the 7 levels of YouTuber businesses, from crypto rug pulls to billion-dollar empire. Level 1. This is the level where starting or owning a business is either a passion project or an incredible waste of time. Here, the image of being a business owner is much more appealing than the reality of it. While not always failures, this is where a vast majority of YouTuber-ran businesses lie. Ambitious enough to be considered a viable business, but not commercially successful enough to generate any real hype or clout. At this stage, revenue is likely very limited, if not zero, with creators still relying heavily on their ad revenue and sponsors for their primary source of income. However, if promising signs are shown early on, many YouTubers use this level as the groundwork for either growing the same business or launching a much more successful one later on. If not, the business is forgotten about, labeled a bust, or, if more predatory intentions were involved, a scam. Examples here include Greg Doucette's Turkmax, David Dobrik's Dispo app, and Jake Paul's Ani energy drink. Level 2. Here, the boys are officially separated from the men. Anyways, at this level, creators are generating real revenue from the business, but still paling in comparison to their AdSense money and sponsors. To put it simply, this is the level most commonly found in YouTubers who drop merch. Enough money to not be a total waste of time, but for the YouTubers in question, still not enough to warrant or divert away from their main channel. The creators at this point could be labeled successful businessmen, but it would be a stretch. And real quick, guys, if you're enjoying this content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as it really helps the team and I at Viral Observer understand what type of content you guys are looking for. Plus, feels pretty good too. Anyways, back to the video. Level 3. Here's an age-old joke. What separates a millionaire from a billionaire? $999 million. To put it simply, this is the phase where creators are officially legitimate business owners and are no longer LARPers. On the other hand, because of this, they now deal with the very real problems associated with being a business owner, such as lawsuits, competitors, copycats, and changes in the market. This is the level where the revenue from the business is likely either approaching or meeting the revenue the creator's earning from YouTube AdSense or sponsorships. However, the key here is both the stability and longevity of the business. Typically, at this phase, success is seen, but for a very short amount of time, as it's either not sustained or plateaus significantly. Here, creators finally address the question of whether they are a business owner that happens to be a YouTuber or a YouTuber that happens to be a business owner. Examples here include Adam22's No Jumper store, Ninja's Mert gaming chair deals, and Markiplier and Jacksepticeye's cloak brand. Level 4. Success has been solidified at this point. Now they've officially surpassed the revenue accrued from their YouTube AdSense and sponsorships. If you'd remove the word YouTuber from their LinkedIn bio, their profile would likely survive, but it would be hanging on by a thread. At this level, creators have demonstrated that they are the very least competent business owners and that their success has started leaving the YouTube and online space and officially transitioning to the mainstream. In practical terms, this means that if they are a food or beverage company, they're able to successfully land their product on the shelves of Walmart or Target. While they may not have arrived with the most impressive QVC deal or Walmart contract, they have officially arrived in the world of big business. Examples here include Jocko Willink's Jocko Milk protein powder, Emma Chamberlain's coffee, and Rhett and Link's mythical entertainment. Level 5. Big pharma, big tech, big you name it. For all intents and purposes, we call this big business. And big business itself has officially taken a swing on this YouTuber business and won. At this stage, the idea of a YouTuber starting this business is pretty much irrelevant at this point. Diehard fans of the YouTuber may know this. Your average American is more likely to know the YouTuber for their business and not content. In other words, the clout and fame associated with being a YouTuber has now been buried by the massive financial success of the business. At this point, even being a YouTuber is sort of an optional career path, as the wealth generated by the business has rendered the financial gain of making a new video utterly useless. Examples here include Casey Neistat's Beam, Michelle Phan's M Cosmetics, and finally Rosanna Pansino's Nerdy Nummies. Level 6. As Antonio Brown says, business is booming. And at this level, that's exactly what's happening. No longer is the YouTuber's biography sectioned in half between being a business owner and a YouTuber, as the only thing left now is the massive entrepreneurial success. At this stage, even in the world of big business, their business is killing it. Forbes takes interest, the media engine goes on overdrive across the world, and suddenly most of these creators forgot about where they came from, their fans, and most importantly, the strange concept of sitting down or having a team sit down and create content night after night. It's almost laughable at this stage. Also, this stage of life is not dictated by CTR maximization, creative brainstorming sessions, or retention overviews, but instead boardroom meetings, earnings reports, PR nightmares, and more lawsuits. Viewers at this point are not talked to, they are sold to. Every view, a potential customer, not a subscriber. Examples here include Prime, Feastables, and well, that's about it. Level 7. You've officially gotten the world's attention. After climbing the ranks of the Forbes wealthiest people alive list, you are officially a billionaire. And being a YouTuber at this point is like a weird party joke you tell your Illuminati friends. As they continue to mingle with their billionaire buddies, their humble beginnings are now used against them, as their friends who have arrived in more conventional fashions are being praised. And while Hollywood has ignored you at all other phases, they finally turn their massive head as they want in on the action, as the money, clout, and relevance your business is doing means that no one would turn you down. If God himself came down to earth, you would be one of the first people he talked to. It seems redundant to even say at this stage, but revenue from recording a single video is a drop in the bucket for you. Between your business valuation, trust, and massive investment portfolio, it would actually cost you more money to make a new video as opposed to doing nothing. This has been Viral Observer. Peace out.